Hey everybody, welcome to Court of Blaze, where tonight we'll be having an engagement where our team is going to try and get through one of the several of the missives that they've been given by their house before the end of this social season, which is coming right up. So, without further ado, here's the players. And you can see Pietro and Sasha, Pete and Christine, just below the monkey holding the grenade. And then you see Martin, who is our newlywed, just got married. Hey.
Hey.
And Rob, who just almost got a divorce because of his cold hands, playing Mocklin. I got to hear that story right before this, so I'll save the rest of the internet from that.
It's going to come out.
All right. As we move across to Roll20, you can see our houses. You can see our team is from House Bastion, the lowest ranking of the Esiltari, the high houses of Ilrian. And they are retainers who are working for this house. Each of them bring unique skills and capabilities, and if you've been watching for the last several episodes, you know a lot more about these characters than you probably even want to. So, I'm going to move it off of this here, and I'm going to move it over to the engagement roll, just so we've got that on the screen. And then we're going to swoop across the late summer, late afternoon in Ilrian. It's a still day. There's almost no wind. It would be stifling inside of your apartment block, except for the fact that Mocklin has probably done a little something to cause some air movement within the building, much as many of the houses do with the help of knacks during this stifling period. But it won't be long. The city will be waking up shortly. Sitting in the room with you is a short man. It's sad that that's the first feature you see, but he doesn't stand out in many ways. He's wearing a set of dark hose and knee-high boots. He's got a rapier at his hip, and he has your house colors. No, he doesn't have your house colors. He has the watch symbol upon his epaulette, and his hat sits beside him. Says it did happen again while he was out doing that thing, saving the kids on the rocks. It's another murder.
This
Yes, I did jump right into the middle of things. If you'd like, I can do a quick reminder in that
Salvatore.
This is actually not. This is you recognize his name as Hesperides. He's from the City Watch, and he is their lead detective. Hesperides. And you do remember that Naldo from the house gave you three main jobs for this social season, and one of them was to help restore relations with the Watch. They're struggling with the murder case and the twist. A man stabbed 4 times in the chest. However, we do know that there has been at least one other murder since that time. Unfortunately, you guys have been too busy to go help out the Watch.
Yeah, I wonder why that happened.
Some things came up. All of them in a hurry. This is in the twist again. Same street. Runs right by the narrow canal, the one that smells so. The one that curls back in on it. So I forget the name of it. I think you guys know it. It dumps out into the main canal of the twist, uh, and junctions there right by Sally's. You know, the boarding house and diner. Yeah, in that area. Once again,
Who was it this time?
it was a flower lady. Was late returning from where she had been selling flowers out in the Gilt. By the time she was getting close to home, whoever it was upon her. I have a theory that it's them Blue Devils. You know,
Yeah.
that band of ne'er-do-well sons of noble houses running around with them devil masks on, pretending to be a gang. Just a theory, just because them holes look like sabers.
Sorry, you'll have to remind me again. Who was the first? Who was the first murder?
It says it was a shopkeeper, same street. It was a baker. It was up, I guess, very early for him, very late for us. Seems like he had stepped out to smoke. Was found right there by the canal.
And was that done by blade or was that done by bullet?
Four stabs to the chest in a line.
Same as the
Clearly.
flower lady.
Yes.
You clearly want them found, or else they'd be dumped in the canal.
I'm going to. Pietro's going to go to the door.
Okay.
Summon a footman and say, "Can you go and get us a map of the twist?"
Very good. Absolutely. So you guys can continue talking. I'll let you know when the map arrives.
So, how many days between each murder?
'Tis been 3 exactly.
So every 3 days there is another murder.
Aye.
Then in 3 days' time we can expect.
Well,
again.
Hughes was busy. It's actually probably tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay.
He looks around. He looks like he might be thirsty, or at least his eyes settle on your decanter of port.
That's yeah. Well, help yourself, my good man.
He heaves his little body out of the chair and struts across to the port.
Can he reach it?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He's not that short. He's not Muggsy short.
Okay, I'm
He's,
going to use
just
some
short.
magic to levitate it up. Can he reach it now? I'm going to levitate it higher. Can he reach it now?
So
I'm joking, I'm not.
that's a good. Thank heavens. Nope. So he looks over his shoulder just before he pours his port to see what you guys are up to. Like it must be sort of a habit he's got. And then he turns swiftly and strides back over and settles into the overstuffed chair. Says, we're stretched pretty thin right now with them gangs.
Yeah.
And I've had a couple of extra watches put out going into the twist, but you know they don't like it. None of them like to be in the twist, especially after dark. Way too much crime.
Well, hopefully we can do something about changing that.
I think what we need to do is tomorrow night, though. I would say that we go there and wait, try and catch the murderer in the act.
Yes.
It would be good. I'll be there If you're going, I'm going.
Be good
Do-
to have someone who knows the area.
I'm sorry?
Are there any vagrants sleeping on the in the twists?
Oh, yes. Yes, there are. Many that are part of the motley. And then, of course, you've got the problems we've got with the founder, which is that all them gangs floating just off the twist, and that tied up bunch of rafts. They've been making raids. We're gonna have to do something about them too.
Where is the
I
twist
have
on the
a
map?
cunning plan. I think it's bottom right-hand corner. Where the
So
lady with the dagger is, it's like diagonally
if I were
east of there.
to bring this, so once again, the map itself is notional and representative. However,
Trinket. No,
Oh,
it's
you got
not.
Trinket and Firefly.
yeah.
I
So
thought
if
that
you
was
look
this round.
down right over, so where you've got the groan, the parts of the groan, of course, are here with the twist, being most likely this area right in here, the groan. Actually, that's so.
I
And
say,
here's Trader's Gate, and then floating just off here somewhere would be where they've got all them boats. The founder.
it's quite clever how you've got canals that go over and under.
Yes. Well, of course, once again, the map is notional. Meant to be strictly representative.
Oh, no, there's even a dead body.
I know. There, if
I
you look
thought
at
that
the
was a
map, if
key.
you look at the map for any of the time, you find several of them. There's one there. There's one over here by the ladies' own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw, oh, there's one over here in the spindle. I was like, that's interesting. I wonder whoever drew this, if there's some sort of theme she was going for. I don't know. I looked around for a keyhole trying to see
Of course,
there
there's
was
a
something else hidden there, but
big
have
key
not
top
found it.
right, just next to the Pilgrim sign.
Yes. So
Somewhere
So we're saying it's somewhere in this
somewhere
bit.
yes.
Right, okay. That's not too far away from where we are, aren't we? Around there, or are we over? I can't remember.
I think we settled on where your apartments were, but I do not remember right off the top of my head. I do think it was in one of the better areas of town, so we'll have to look that back up and see what we agreed upon.
I thought it was around this area, somewhere around here.
Okay, so this
Because I
is
can
like
remember looking at the rows and thinking, oh well, we're not too far away from the theatre district and things like that.
it may have been there or the edge of the guild, so something like that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think you guys were not up by the palace and the Coronet where all the
No.
some of the big houses and things were, but we're somewhere not too far away. So I would say the guild or the road somewhere in this area would be somewhere in the overall area would be fine. But what we can do now is, if I remember how to do this, we can start doing some rolls to see if you guys learn anything prior to your engagement roll. And I'm trying to find where I was with that. Gather information. That's what I'm looking for. Silly. 84143. So you guys can ask a question or two, and then we can try and we can make a roll based on a skill that you're using to try and figure it out. And based on your roll, I'll give you what I can with no trying to lie or hide or anything like that. I'll give you as truthfully as possible. and you can't fail. You can get a limited or partial, or you can get a standard with pretty good details, or you can get great with all sorts of extra details. And if you guys would like to do any of that type of thing before you get started into the actual throes of the engagement role, I'd be happy to take that.
So we have access to a private library,
Yes, you do.
which includes civic plans.
Very good.
So I think we should make use of the library, look at the plans of the buildings around there, check for, alleyways, sewers, things that might not be visible on the surface.
Very good.
And also take advantage of the waters in which we swim.
Very good.
+1
on the engagement roll. Is that right?
On the engagement roll.
Okay.
Yes.
So using your fine library, that's going to give you an extra die for whoever makes this roll. Just doing research, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we come up with based on your roll. Who's doing the main library hunting?
Has anyone got a really good research study?
I've got a single dot in study. That is all.
Aha! There's our knack.
Yeah, I've got two. I've got 2 in study. It's a little bit low.
Higher than all the rest of us.
Two is quite is
at this stage of the game. It's quite good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nothing in study for me.
And you get a extra die because of your fine library. That's 3. That's great. For what question do you want answered?
And then we get the other one for the waters that we thingy.
That's
4,
for the that's for the engagement roll.
Oh, so this is just for the. Okay,
so just 3.
How many questions?
I'd be glad to give you 4 if someone else wants to do it at the same time. You can work together.
I don't know whether this is possible or not, but Monty would like to kind of go, if they're looking at the library for information, he would quite like to go and either using his undercover or just going and have a pass around the area in question. Just keep an eye out for anybody, scouts and guards and any security kind of things that have an eye for stuff that's anybody who looks a little bit out of place or with intent rather than just I'm existing here. Anything that might give us a problem on the night.
Okay, so let's take Machlin's roll and then we'll do Monty's roll.
Yep.
All right, Machlin, what is your question you're asking? And we'll get back to your question, Monty. I think you roughly framed it.
What's the question that I need to ask?
It's a good question. What is the question? That is the question. I suppose what we want to work out is, this was kind of why I wanted the map, was I wanted to work out what was the, putting pins in the map of the various murders.
Okay.
What is the most likely places that we need to stake out? Thinking about the time of, and we know they happened every 3 days. Thinking about the time of night that they happened, that would be indicative of anything.
You had quite forgotten that Hesperides was standing there. He pipes up. We don't know for sure the exact times of death, since they were not found until the morning. 'Twas late, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think our question is there something that would be an obvious way that someone could get in and out of those areas?
Okay.
Hidden.
Without being seen, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good.
How many questions can we have?
So what I'll say, typically you can have one or two prior to a piece if you want before we take off and get into the encounter. I'm if you guys feel that you need some extra time, then we'll discuss whether or
Well,
not you're running out of daylight.
well,
Because
all that I
you
was
have
thinking
all
was,
this evening and you have all tomorrow.
Or
yeah.
what we
So,
could do is, sorry, Rob, you go.
well, all that I was thinking was whether or not, and this might not be for this role. It might just be a conversation that we need to have with his banner dice. Was there a connection between the two? Okay, the flower seller and the baker. But as we've got the plans, the plans out, are the plans detailed enough so that we can actually see what shops? What I've got in my mind is that it's the back of something. Wait a second.
So I was
Just wait a second.
I was
So
thinking in the Hollywood way that this game runs, whether we should leave the question open and basically say, basically our question would be, show us something suspicious, and leave it up to Anthony to basically, in the way
Yeah.
that the detective procedurals happen. They all sit round and they have an eye and go, I hadn't noticed that before. And
Okay.
So basically, if we discuss the case with the detective, we look at the map, and we have our research for the area. Our open question is there a clue there that can help us catch the murderers?
Very good.
Okay, so it's is it a controlled role?
So I like that. So you're going to basically say, looking at this map, does a clue leap out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And talking through it with the detective as well.
Absolutely. So and that's part of it is that discussion.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a particular page. Go ahead.
So I don't think it's a risky role, is it? So it's a controlled role?
Yeah, because it actually, that doesn't actually play into this. So just pick whatever you want to put on there.
Standard effect.
Yes.
Extra die. Rolling. 5 and 2 3s.
All right. So we have 5, which is great. I mean, it's really what you're sort of looking for there.
So, yes.
That's going to give you some good information. So let me. There's one other piece of information I was just looking up before I jumped into telling.
I'm listening. I've just got to go and
oh, absolutely.
Sort Anna out. So 2 seconds.
Absolutely. So here's what we'll give Rob and or Mocklin and you guys all as who are here, as well as the detective. You're sort of sitting around the table staring at the sort of the best map they've got of the twist. And even there's some places that are erased and smudged out where there may have been a change and they've sort of lost track. A couple of different buildings, some of the wooden bridges that go back and forth between some of the leaning tenements. And what I'll say is it's a curving esplanade alongside of this narrower canal. The canal would probably only take 2, maybe at a serious squeeze, 3 gondola across in places. Mostly 2. You see the markings that it appears to be a fairly deep canal, and it does have numerous sewer dumps into it, since it's close enough there that from there it's pretty much out to sea. And you see that the buildings are tight together, lean together. there's a simple note in the margin saying too many bridges and walkways between to keep track of. Though there's a couple that are drawn in that seem a little more permanent. And so aside from that, there are several sort of rundown apartment blocks. There's the bakery. There's a small coffee shop. There's let's see what else. There's an orphanage, and there's a let's see, and there is a open block that's full of refuse, evidently a fallen tenement. Those are the things that pop up there. And as you're talking with Hesperides, he does mention that, let's see here, that the two people that have been killed were both Iberican.
Thought it was more than 2.
Yes, it's 3. You were correct. So there's been 3, and so there's the baker, there's the flower lady, and I'm trying to think. The last one was a gondolier tying up late.
Okay. That was the second one, yeah?
Yes.
And they were all 3 Iberican?
All 3.
Two
So
male, female.
there are no amazing clues that pop out immediately, but there are a couple of things you've seen. As far as ways in, you can walk along that esplanade, or you can wind your way through narrow alleys in the twist to get to that street. You might come in over the rooftops. You might come in on the waterway itself, the canal. But the only thing that really seems to go together is they're all 3 Iberican.
Okay. Are any of us Iberican?
Yep.
So if we dressed you up as a commoner,
That should be pretty simple. I have a Master of Disguise.
excellent. Oh, perfect. So if we disguised you, and we could maybe
Now,
a bit of bait going on.
so we can get to that conversation in a second. In that, Monty is out walking those streets right now.
I am. Hopefully he comes back.
Are you in disguise?
I've taken a light disguise. I've not gone full makeup, but I've kind of put, a little bit of a nose.
He's put on the false glasses and
yes.
Very good.
Yes. So I did a little bit of subtle makeup. Put some sort of just general dust and grime. I mean, so like I've been out working in the.
So the heat has just broken, Monty, and the sun has been below the horizon for a short while. And elsewhere in the city, strings of lights are being lit. There's music playing. The restaurants are overflowing into the plazas and into the streets. In the Silk, the laughter is coming from all of the bawdy houses. The theaters are getting ready for their first runs for the tonight. But here in the twist, people are starting to batten down hatches for the night. You see that homeless folk are trying to find a place to huddle away for the evening. Already several door frames have been staked out. You can see that this street, which is actually a slightly better off street than off into the alleys, the restaurant closes in about an hour. The little coffee shop, excuse me, and the bakery has been closed. Evidently, it's not opened back up since the death of the baker.
Yeah.
And what roll would you like to make?
Well, Monty would like to walk around the edge of the twist, and he'd like to go to the gate.
Mm.
The gate, the
Trader's
gatehouse, Trader's Gate, and look out towards the founder.
So the gate itself is not towards the founder. The
Okay,
founder is actually, if you were, let's just say that somewhere in here is where you're standing.
Yeah.
And this water area out here, where you've got little islands and you've got some things like that, is sort of towards the founder.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, as you move towards Trader's Gate, and you look out this well-established gate through the city
sorry.
wall.
I did. If that's the gate, I was meaning this bridge or something like that.
Okay. Would you prefer
the waterway out towards the founder? That's where.
Okay.
That's where I'm looking at. Yeah. So I got the
absolutely.
Gate confused.
It's not the prettiest of waterways emptying into this bay. It looks like numerous other parts of the city route their mess through the twist as being the place that's least able to complain.
Yeah.
And my son is singing loudly in the other room. Hopefully that doesn't come on here too loudly. But anyway, you can see the vaguely the outlines of the multiple ships that are tied together, sort of forming a little bit of this pirate island, where those who have pretty much nothing find a place to call their own.
So Monty's looking to see if there's a way of at least temporarily blocking that route in.
Okay. That's interesting. So the canal widens here. You think you'd probably have to go up sort of on the other side of the bridge that sort of runs between the rows and across. And you're thinking that you might be able to cut adrift several of the gondolas that are moored on the far side or by the rows area. Yep. And that done properly, they would at least, you could turn them sort of quasi lengthwise and would cause a slowdown or impediment. If you really wanted to cause a problem, you'd set them on fire or something. But
I
you're
have
not
crossed
sure.
my mind.
Yeah. So just some thoughts that come to your mind.
Yeah.
And I'll give you that without a roll. So what would is there any other roll you'd like to make while you're out here? Do you question?
I do get a according to I have artful trespass, so I get +1d to survey rolls, notice security measures, locks, guards, alarms, etc. Also, again, an additional gather information question: what are they trying to keep me out of? And I get you get an extra 1d on the engagement roll for acting on that. But I don't think anyone's trying to keep us out of anything at this particular time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that would work too. I'm not. I
guess if we're trying to break into another house or somewhere, then that would that might apply, but possibly not in this case.
All right.
But yeah, I'd like to see if there's any. I guess it's a survey, like you said, the gondola bits and pieces. See how easy that is. See if I can.
Absolutely.
Give myself any additional preparation work that I can say. Okay, how's the best way of approaching this?
Very good. All right, make your roll.
Let's do a survey. Standard. Is it the
it's controlled standard.
I don't think I get the 1d for this. It's not really security guard, etc. Where's it gone?
No, I'll give you that. No, I'll give you that die because there are some guards. Well, not guards, but there's at least gondoliers who
Oh,
hang
that's a
out.
good point.
Or
Yeah.
they hire a kid to watch their gondolas or something like that.
I'll have another dice. Oops. Oh,
Fine with
the
that.
tooltip is covering the button. Control standard. 4. 5 and a 4.
5 and a 4. All right. So with a 5, you get your standard information. You think, looking at the gondolas there, that this is probably their tie-up for the night.
Mhm.
So probably they live either in the twist or they live at the edge of the rows, whichever. They've tied on the other side where there's less likely to be a problem. There's between 6 and 8 as you sort of look around on different evenings as you sort of talk to people. Yeah, there's usually a bunch of those there. You think with all of them cut loose sort of at once, it would cause enough of a jam right there at the bridge that it would be difficult to maneuver through there.
Yeah.
And you think you could probably make that happen.
And hopefully, at least if it's delaying, if it's enough of a delay, then somebody can spot them. If anybody does try and leave.
Very good.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's probably everything I need to look at in that area.
Okay. So do you return to your team the same evening?
Yes.
All right.
Back to the see what they've just uncovered in the library.
Okay. So you guys have about finished up in the library when Monty joins you. And you guys have a plan, a quasi-plan in your brain.
Puts his nose on the table.
From his disguise. So you want to tell Monty your plan? Quasi-plan?
Well, I mean, our plan, such as we have it, is to ask Monty to disguise himself. We'll explain, obviously, about the Iberican angle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And say that.
Well, I think if I go as a gondolier, that might help because I've done that in the past, and I'm going to be probably skulking around near some gondolas to try and block the bridge out towards the founder. So if they're coming that way, they're going to get a bit of a shock.
So I sort of propose that unless you have another burning question or two, I sort of think you've got the outline.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Happy to go to an engagement.
I think we're about ready for that engagement. Anyone opposed? Sasha, go ahead.
We've got the morning, haven't we?
If you so choose to use it.
Okay, so all that I was thinking was if I go over to the crime scene and see if I can sense any paranormal.
Absolutely. So you could go over and have a question for that, and that would be your gather information.
Okay.
Very good.
So yeah, I don't know if anybody else wants to come. I'll go on my own. It doesn't really, I'm thinking that because of it was the baker, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, the flower lady. Sorry, the flower lady was the latest one.
Yes.
So maybe her spirit might still be around. I'll take Grandad with me.
Okay. Absolutely.
Possibly makes sense for Monty to go with you because if he's going to be in that area, it possibly makes sense to him to be seen.
Very good.
Okay. Well, disguise up then.
And we'll say that you've all at some point done a little bit of reconnoiter so that later on when you're doing flashbacks, it'll cost you slightly less stress. Okay. So, Mocklin, you guys arrive via the Rose, and Monty, if you feel like it, you can sort of point out your idea as you're crossing.
Yep.
And we can cut to the chase. You're standing on that. It's about a 20-foot wide esplanade between the edge of these houses and the narrow canal. There is a gondola moving lazily down this canal. and there's no one riding. He looks sort of hopefully your guys' direction, and then continues on as he sees you're actually not looking for a lift. You're on that street. You pass in front of the baker's, which is still shut.
So I'll talk to Grandad and get him to do his shit.
Okay.
Tell me if there's anyone about and where they are. And then once he tells me, I'll then talk to them so that they appear in front of me.
Very good. Very good. I like this angle. I like this angle a lot. So you don't really have much choice whether your granddad's coming with you or not. He comes with you pretty much wherever you go. It's just whether or not
it's
you actually see
sometimes.
him. And he does things to bother you. It's just one of those things. Like right now, he's standing in the gondola, sort of waving at you as he drifts off into the distance. But then now he's standing right at your shoulder and listens to what you whisper to him.
Yeah.
He nods gravely, gives you a little rub on the head, which you of course don't feel. And Martin, you're not seeing any of that. And then he steps away and sort of vanishes in a blur.
Okay.
And then you hear his voice. Actually, let's make a roll. Let's make that roll.
Okay.
So I think this is sort of an arcane thing.
I don't know how we did it before. I think it was under sway, but yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
you can do sway.
It's two across the board, so I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I've got sway, command, and channel now, all at 2. So, I'll use the channel roll. But yeah.
So you hear his voice come back to you. He's not there, but he says, "There's a lost lady."
Okay, so I'll just say to Monty, I'm just going to be conversing with the dead, so don't be panicked, all right? And then yeah, I'll
So there is a really interesting
to the lady.
There's a really interesting feature about the twist. And this feature is that if anyone catches someone using the knack in the twist, it tends to be viewed extremely negatively because there's a high level of superstition in the twist about what's just out the gates. Because just out the gates is the silent, it's the Necropolitan Hill. It's the giant graveyard that extends away.
I didn't think we were that close.
Ah, yes. That's right over in here.
Because I thought the thingy was over at the top, wasn't it?
Here's a twist.
Not past the silent.
Ah, yes. It's in the silent. So, Necropolitan Hill is right over in here.
Right, okay. Good to know. So I'll be very, very quiet about it.
Okay. The voice of your granddad seems to be coming from one of those narrow alleys that looks fairly dark even in the morning.
Okay. I'll say to Monty, let's go and have a look down here. And then I'll whisper in Monty's ear. I'm going to be pretending to be talking to you, yeah. So don't be too alarmed.
So you both see, standing, sort of looking at a pile of refuse, which you see are cast off flowers from the restaurant, from the cafe, from the table. There's a stooped female form facing away from you, just standing. Looks a little bit fuzzy at the edges. black
both see
color. Oh yeah, you do. You both see it, and it gives you a little chill.
Is that normal?
That's probably a good thing to say.
Not unless you can see the. Not unless you can see this, no. I've never known anyone else to be able to see them apart from those that are gifted. Are you gifted? And I spin on Monty.
As you spin, this female form starts to turn towards you slowly, and you can make out the grizzled side of an older woman's face, the profile coming around, and then a pure white eye looking back over its shoulder, and then the rest of it turns and it suddenly rushes towards the two of you with outspread arms. You can see that there are 4 in a line, holes oozing looks like blood, and you hear, "He killed me!" And it rushes through you, leaving you a shiver, and is gone. And your granddad is laughing. You don't see the granddad, Martin, but your granddad thinks this is probably one of the funniest things he's seen in a while.
I did see that, Lachlan. That was
You outrageous bastard.
that
I
was.
thought you might find that funny, you little shit. I tell you, if you were alive, I'd poison you again.
That was not good.
And no. Well, we definitely found the power lady. Unfortunately, we didn't get time to ask.
Who was her?
Yeah, for a brief description, like cloak or something like that, a mask.
But didn't she say? But didn't she say he killed me?
Yes.
So
maybe it was an individual who stabbed 4 times, or it were 4 that stabbed only once, or maybe it was 6, and 2 of them missed.
So to save you hunting for other ghosts, the basic thing that you're going to get from your granddad is probably that would be a nighttime pursuit, and the sheer recentness of this event and the horror of her experience is caused such a manifestation.
Yeah, but I also think, well, when we get back, I'll talk to Monty on the way back and what have you.
All right.
And then when we get back, I'll say I'll obviously tell Sasha and Pietro what happened.
Go ahead.
Whilst pouring Monty 3 or 4 very large brandies.
Yeah, you might need to give me a hand.
Okay, I won't pour the brandies. I'll just give him the decanter and tell him to sup straight from it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So whilst I'm doing that, I'll say to Pietro and Sasha, well, the flower lady, she was an old lady, and she's not very happy. She rushed us and said he killed me. So I would maybe deduce from that maybe she knew who he is. The good thing is, Granddad says it's more of a nighttime thing. So maybe when we go over at night, we'll be able to use her aggression to aid us, because she is one pissed off hag.
And I could see her as well, and I don't think that's normal.
People can see ghosts when they make a manifestation. That's why people have hauntings and are terrified. It's not just knacks. However, it was definitely a horrific experience, and you're really not looking forward to wandering down there. However, okay, let's get to this engagement roll. You get 1 die because you guys are professional, skilled. It's great luck. Let's talk about some of the others. Let's first talk. What type of plan do you consider this? This is more to get you all sort of on the same sheet.
I would say stealth, probably.
I like that.
because
I like that.
Yeah.
hiding. We're trying to disguise, hiding,
Very good.
get the murderer to reveal themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Sasha, during your walk around, you probably found several perches or locations that would be great Overwatch spots.
Well, I'm hoping that I was doing an awful lot on the rooftops.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would say that you probably are familiar enough at this point that in the dark you're going to be able to move back and forth with no penalty amongst the different boards that are laid across between some of the tenements and things like that. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Excellent. So we're saying stealth. Does this plan, is it bold and daring?
With us,
Complex. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
You're putting one
If
of
we
your
don't
guys
destroy a
out as
building-
bait. Yeah, one of your guys is wandering out for bait for a murderer. That sounds fairly bold. Is there a house strength you guys can use on this? Yes, you can, because you got the water is what you swim. So there's 3 die.
Well, we've also got the watch.
Yes, you do, as friends or contacts who have provided you aid and insight.
Yeah.
And we'll say, well, depending on the role, we'll find something else here. Will this? Okay, paramours. I don't think that's going to affect anything here.
Do we get the extra one for the artful trespass with the me trying to deal with the untying of the gondolas, because that's part of my special ability. We get an extra 1D on the engagement for acting on the information.
Acting on that information. So you are acting on information
About
that
locks, guards, alarms, etc. for the about getting to the gondola.
Sure.
I'm not too fussy. I'm not too fussy either way if it works. If we can, but if it's applicable,
I
then
think I can see a tie.
yeah.
So go ahead and take it. So wow.
Do we want to use the lady's blessing as well?
Oh God, no.
No.
I've got loads.
Or
Save
do we want
that.
to keep that for
Dice.
just in case?
Yeah, we've got tons and tons. Of
You
dice.
guys have so many dice. It's not funny.
We've got like 5 dice or something, isn't it?
I think Sasha should roll.
You know, when I roll lots of dice,
You've got
my
lots.
dice get filled together and they all come up wands.
That's sort of what I was hoping. But
It's I think 6 dice, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? Wait. You get 1 automatically.
One.
Oh, add 1 for your house. So there's 2, 3, 4. Wow. I'm seeing that. I don't see how you guys can't come out in a good position or even in an extremely good position.
So, D6, yes.
No, that's your ability roll. So yeah. 6 of those.
This may be one of your best positions ever.
Oh no, not 7. 6.
I think it is actually. Yeah.
And roll.
Hey, there's a 6.
There's a 6.
Just 1 though.
Just 1, but that's okay.
All right.
So we get that 6. So that's great. You are in a controlled.
6.
You come out in a controlled.
5.
Why did it roll 5?
Oh, it did roll twice.
It
And
rolled
it
twice, and I only rolled 5 dice.
2 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what I'll offer you. You
Do you
can
want to
either,
ignore those dice completely and I'll just try one more time?
if you'd like, hoping for a critical success, or you can just live with your 6. Your call.
Got a 6.
Live with a 6.
Yeah.
It's probably not a bad plan. So you will start in a controlled position, and you will get some other benefits as we shall see. So what I'd like to know is sort of where you all are. So you've got little alleys, you've got the rooftops, you've got the street itself. There's possibility of a boat if anyone wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to start out first with where you guys put Monty. Where does Monty want to sort of stroll or move along?
Sorry, when you said where do you guys want to put Monty? I'm thinking
On a shelf.
Well,
No.
the
trash
question
can.
is, where does Monty want to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably makes sense if I take a gondola to out through the twist and then out towards where the others are parked up. And
Okay.
while I look like I'm tying mine up, I'll be undoing the others, and then I'll kind of walk back towards the twist.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and block that?
Mm-hmm.
It won't be a problem for us to hire, borrow someone's gondola, pay them a bit of cash, and have their gondola for the night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure your house has some stashed around.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I'm going to ask where the others are. So let's set a time of night. You've gotten all in position. You've waited a bit as everything has quieted down. Because of your 6, Hesperides is there, and he's got 4 able guardsmen, and you can say where you would like them to. They each have a cutlass and a truncheon.
Is the coffee shop? Is there anywhere still open down here, or is everything?
It could be with a request.
Yeah, but that would be unusual for it to be open.
Correct.
Yeah, so
it stays open a little later, but no one in your investigations remembered any of these murders or was leaving from there and found a body or anything. So it must have been a little bit later than them closing, which would have been, 8 or 9 in the evening if you think of it that way.
So Pietro is dressed as a homeless person. He's sort of huddled up in an alleyway somewhere.
Okay.
Bit of view of the.
That doesn't fit very well on his bones, does it?
Yeah.
No, I bet not.
He's wearing fine clothes underneath.
Wonderful. Where you can quickly flip those off.
Basically, he's wearing, what he's wearing is effectively like a sort of contrived cloak. So he can just fling it off and reveal the magnificence of his outfit.
Perfect. I love it.
Glints of gold every time you sway past. Yeah.
Sasha, where do you position yourself?
I'm on the rooftops.
Okay. So if you think about sort of the coffee shop being at the corner of another major road that has a bridge, and then coming past the coffee shop, you have a tenement, and then you've got the bakery, and then you've got another little tenement, and after that, there's sort of the tumble down tenement, and then the street continues on around the curve with a couple of more apartment blocks that are in relatively poor shape. Are you sort of towards the front of that street, towards where the coffee shop and bakery area are? Or are you further around?
I'm where the coffee shop and bakery area.
Okay, gotcha. So above the coffee shop are several small apartments that sort of make it a 4 or 5 story building. It has a slight parapet and a flat roof with a set of little round drains in the side that would dump any rainwater off the edge if there was enough rain in this area for a lot of that. The parapet's about a foot high, so if you went down on one knee, you could easily rest it's about 2.5 feet ish high. It's enough. You can go down on one knee and lay your rifle across that if you needed something to steady. And below in the alley, if you were to look over, you could see Pietro, and you notice that he's drawn a couple of other homeless people who have now come to sit by him and are trying to chat to him. You find that humorous in the extreme.
Oh, definitely. I'm using my fine spyglass as well, by the way,
to keep an eye on this. In that case, you can also see that Martin has made his pass. Actually, you may want to wait later in the evening for that, Martin. I don't know, because they're gonna clear that stuff out. I don't know when you want that blocked.
Yeah, well, I'll kind of get out of the gondola and Monty will sit down and he'll rest kind of to the side of them there.
There is a tie there that's just across from the bakery.
Yeah.
Mocklin, where are you?
So Sasha is at the coffee shop or above the coffee shop?
Above, on the roof of that building.
So we're not having coffee then?
No.
Okay. I am. I'm going to see if. Should have thought about this, shouldn't I? Okay. So after I spread manure on Pietro's outer garments to make him smell like a homeless person, that's so much better. I'm going to ask our lead detective if he's got access to the bakery, and I'm dressed in basically workers' clothes. Sorry, Monty, I've taken some of Monty's clothes, and I was going to pretend to sweep out the bakers because maybe and that's basically what I was going to do. Some nocturnal type of restoration and cleaning, ready for the next person to come in.
Very good. So, Hesperides says, we've got a key. The place has been shut, but I got it here somewhere." He lets you in. There's a couple of lanterns inside that you can tell that the baker probably used when he was doing his early morning, just after midnight, first run of starting to make the bread and bake everything for this local area. He does have a wood fire oven in the back that has a stack of wood next to it. He's got a counter in front of it. He's got a workbench table. There's some sacks of flour, various different types. Those are the type of things you see. And there's two little tables out front that are closest to the front door. And there is an open window that runs across the front, where you can see out, and you can see Monty's tied up his boat. Hesperides says, "Where do you guys want the?" He says to you, since he's standing next to you, "Where do you want the watchman?" But I will put this to all of you because I assume that you would have told him this together at the beginning.
Maybe one pretending to berate you, Pete, and get you to clear off and what have you, and just gesticulate because vagrants and things like that, trying to clear off the area. That might be a reasonable sell. But there again, we also don't want any of the stabby stabbers to be. No, that's a real bad idea. We don't want them to be seen.
Exactly. We don't. I think we don't.
Yeah.
I think that we
so one in the baker with me. One in baker with me, or if not, all of them in the bakery with me. Just huddled down and just
behind the counters,
so that nobody can see them, or even if they go upstairs, where there's no lights and what have you.
Yep.
They need to be
There's
present,
a small apartment
but not
up there.
seen. Yeah, present but not seen. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think
that's a good idea. Good call.
The natural place for the cops would be either the bakery for the donut or the coffee shop coffee.
Maybe one on two on each. Two in the coffee shop, two in
coffee shop
the bakery.
Shut.
Yeah, but then you'll have some cops with coffee but no donuts.
I know.
Donuts with no coffee, and they're just not going to know what to do with themselves.
No,
that's true.
Cause strife.
Okay, so if everybody's in agreement, I think that as we've got the bakery open for me to have my not disguise, but my routine going, maybe that's the best place for all of them, including the lead detective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay, and as soon as something happens, or Monty shouts something like "My goose got away," we all come piling out.
Pineapple.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
I love it. Okay, so let's move a little bit further into
how
the
about
night.
making that Welsh name of that train station? The train station.
Oh, Llanfestiniog.
Go thing. Yeah.
Isn't that like a BDSM safe word?
A little bit.
A little bit. Oh, just thoughts I don't want to have. Okay, so we're moving a little bit further into the night. The couple who have moved next to you, Pietro, are a little old man and woman, and the little old man keeps trying to strike up a little bit of conversation. He says, "Oh, what? So you new here?
Yeah,
The
well,
luck change?"
Pietro's great at conversation, so he's quite happy to have a
Says
chat with
the
them.
boots sure look nice. You new to this? Things go wrong?
Yeah, you know how it is. You know, you one day you're at the top, and next you're in the gutter.
He scratches his hair, looks at his fingernails, scratches again. Says, the fleas are bad this year. Really bad here in this alley. Says, and you can see Monty is out there. It's the moon has risen, the moon has set. You are just past midnight. A couple of the cops, the watch, Mocklin, have gone ahead and laid out on the floor back there on some empty sacks of wheat, and have gone ahead and taken turns taking the nap.
So
And
Pietro's just gonna. I mean, while we're engaged in conversation, he's going to ask about. I was a little bit worried about coming here. I heard there was some murders.
ooh, bad things. Really bad things. We heard the screaming.
Yeah. Did you see anything?
The lady, she fell just, and she points out not too far out, in front of the flower shop area. Says, not the flower shop, excuse me, the bakery. Says, what? Just went too far from there. She was pushing her little cart, wee thing. Next thing we knowed, she was screaming the devil, and there was a big splash.
Huh. So, but she, what? She fell in the water.
No, she was there in the street.
Huh.
Mocklin, you feel a very strong sense of dread. It's like associated with when you've run into ugly veins of magic that have been tainted from violence or treachery. You just feel that. This is about the time, Pietro, that they're telling you about the splash. Up on the rooftop,
Yep.
you can see down where Monty is sitting. And
where Monty's sitting, what by the
yep, Monty is sitting by his I guess, unless you want to go ahead and run down, Monty.
Yeah, as it gets towards midnight and just after, I'll at that point I'll make my move, and I'll subtly unhook the barges delicately, and then I'll wander away in a bit more into the twist so that anybody who is coming, keeping an eye on me, won't see what's happening.
And then you move back up. So I'll make that a success. You can see them all drifting towards where they're going to jam together, and then you move back across to us. Where do you pop out in your area?
I'll probably come out down here, sort of the other side of the bridge. Just I don't want to be too close to the bridge because I don't want anyone to.
Okay, but the ambush zone. Where are you headed into the ambush zone? Around the bakery and the cafe. Is it down by the broken down tenement that's just rubble? Are you sort of going back to where you were sitting originally?
No, I'll go past the broken down tenement.
Okay.
That way, yeah.
So as you're down at that end, you are out of view of Sasha. Sasha, you saw him do his move where he was going down to seal off anyone coming up this canal from the bay. And you knew that he was coming back into view as soon as he could. Did you try and follow across the rooftops, or are you going to stay in the ambush zone?
I would keep him in sight
Okay.
because I know I've got Mocklin in the bakery, and I've got Pietro sitting kind of outside the bakery. So I've got those two kind of covering each other. So I would be trying to cover Monty.
Very good.
So I try and keep an eye on him.
So about 3-ish blocks down, on the far side of the tumbled down tenement, you are perched on an apartment block as you're watching Monty move back up the esplanade towards the ambush zone. You hear a rustle in the maybe some falling masonry in that tumbled tenement, all of the rubble that's there. You hear that, sort of makes you tense for a second. Can't really see where it came from. Okay.
Yeah.
And Monty's now passing that. You see him passing. I'm sure your spyglass is trained all upon that area. And as he's passing, this is the point that Mocklin, you feel this feeling. And Pietro, you hear the guy says, yeah, there is a big splash. And you're going, huh. With a rush of water, like a spout, just beside you, Monty, a massive dark figure leaps up out of the canal and lands next to you. It has a face that's part crab, part like beaked mouth, like maybe a squid looking thing, and it's scaled, and it's got its feet, you can see are spread, where its toes spread as webbing, and it is definitely male and is not ashamed of itself. And it has, each of its hands have long extended fingers that are talons, and it goes to stab you. What do you do?
First of all, I go, goose. That's part of the safe word.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You see this, by the way, as well, Sasha. You jerk you hear the noise of the water splash, and jerk your spyglass back towards Monty, just as you see this thing land right next to him. And both of you guys can do something.
I'm going to be taking a shot. I'm going to be taking, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So when you come to me, that's what I will be doing.
Okay, let's deal with Monty up front then. So basically, he's just going to stab you just like he did the rest, right in the chest, with a big right punch. He's probably twice as tall as you.
Yeah.
And about as across the shoulders, probably about, you could probably lay down and fit between the shoulders. Big, broad chest.
Well, I'd like to try and dodge out of the way.
Wonderful. Let's do that. You're in a desperate position.
Yeah.
Surprised, shocked, and being assaulted.
What did we? I think I may have missed it. What did we say our loadout for this was? Were we?
We did not. I suck as a GM. You guys can tell me your load now in the midst of this, so I assume you're all going to go much more loaded.
I don't know, because we've kind of got to that point in the. I don't want it to be kind of.
I think probably if you're honest with yourselves, doing a stealthy thing, you're probably not loaded
gonna be
all
too
the way
late.
out.
No,
But
I was going to go discreet. So
Okay.
right from the very start. So,
very good.
Same here.
And you do have Watchmen, and you do have everything else, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Although
Just
I
to-
passed over all the rest of my gear onto one of the Watchmen.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think Asha's probably loaded because she's going to be
Yes,
concealed the
Yeah.
whole time.
I wouldn't doubt.
Yeah.
Not
would
at
be-
all.
Oh, I'm loaded.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Loaded there. Yeah.
What about
Loaded,
you,
bear
Pietro?
traps and yeah. Definitely.
Grenades, monkeys with grenades. got the lot.
Too bad. Too bad we're not all here. Very good.
Just a quick question. Just a quick practical question on equipment. So the gear you've got in the grey, in the darker bit, is that all? Is it always there, and then you've got other stuff, or is that you can?
Yes.
But does that count to your? Does that count towards your number, or is it?
I thought it was the stuff that's in italics is basically zero cost.
Right. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Really light.
Yeah.
But I thought the gear that's in the grey area is specific to your.
I'm looking really quickly at Monty's
Class.
stuff.
Other word.
Yeah, it's specific to class, but it doesn't count as your loadout. So it's only the stuff below the grey.
That's the bit I was trying to understand.
That you need to do.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
effectively, on every engagement, you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Because I wasn't sure
6,
why.
7,
If
8.
it
You'll have 8 items as discrete loadout.
And the number of the discrete and the heavy loadout is the bits underneath. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought that was the case. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah. And if you look at that, most of those things are pretty small and you could just tuck away.
Yeah.
Even your supposed fine disguise, you could just say you've got stashed pretty easily. But when you get to armor or a blade or two or throwing knives, that starts counting against your load in a hurry.
Yes. I think I would have been putting something protective on underneath.
Yeah. Well, you can tell me when the time comes.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which.
The time is now.
Yeah. So you're trying to make a movement of some sort. Please tell me what you're doing.
I'm going to try and roll backwards to kind of towards the bakery in that sort of direction.
Okay, so that's a couple of blocks down.
Yeah.
So you're gonna if you're rolling that direction, you're rolling sort of parallel to the water.
Yeah.
And where he is, so you're sort of just if you're looking at the water, we'll say it's to your left that you would be taking a shoulder roll that way,
rather than in the same direction as the as the fist.
Behind you would be going towards the rubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would be a maneuver.
Wonderful. Let's see this roll, which also we'll try and avoid. So this is desperate, and I'm going to even be more mean because of his speed and fury. It's going to be limited effect.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking for is trying to push you towards doing something to improve your effect or position.
Yes. Probably take a couple of stress on this, I imagine.
Fair enough.
Because
that will give you that die. Now you can what you can do with that die. You can take an extra die, or you can change your position from desperate to risky, or you can change the effect from limited to standard.
I think possibly having the extra die is going to be the most useful.
Okay, let's do that.
Ooh.
That's very, very good. Now, the limited bit is that he is going to pin your cape and sort of stop the roll from getting as far as you would have liked.
Yep.
But he definitely misses, and I think Sasha may be doing something.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha, you're just because of the tussle going on below, it's a risky, even though you're a great shot. So we're risky, but there'll be a standard effect of causing some form of damage. We can hope.
Okay.
I think you probably have a couple of fine thises and thatses things to help you out as well.
So, sorry. I know I'm saying yes and everything. We're risky.
Yeah, we're risky and it's standard.
And standard. And I've got a obviously using my sharpshooter skill.
Very good.
Push yourself to do one of the following: make a trick shot, disarm someone, make a ranged attack at extreme distance, or unleash a barrage of rapid fire to suppress your target.
Okay. Which of those would you like to do?
I'm thinking possibly. I was thinking a barrage of rapid fire
I like it.
to basically push it back and away from Monty if I can.
Very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's make this roll.
Okay, so I'm taking stress for this, and I've also got a lucky charm. Me lucky charms.
Ooh, we're gonna use that. Very good. Mark that baby off.
Yeah. And that lucky charm, a small personal charm that can be used to bring a little luck to a situation.
And we have sort of made it canon in our game that that can be used for an extra die here or there as necessary, or to alter the narrative slightly. So if you would prefer to alter the narrative slightly, like Martin's cloak rips where it was being held to the ground, or if you want to use it for an extra die for your shot, I don't care. You tell me.
I'm going to use it to. The luck is that his cloak rips where he's being held to the ground.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. So you suddenly pop free of that, Martin,
okay.
and start scrambling backwards. Yeah.
So so I've got just one extra dice then from the fact that I'm taking stress to push this.
Yes.
Lovely. Oh, crumbs.
Very interesting. So, but I will say this, Macklin, Pietro, you hear a series of shots. Pop, 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 pop. You know, it could probably only be Sasha. And it sounds like it you're looking out your alley, if you're looking out the bakery, it's down to your right. Along the esplanade towards where the tumbled down tenement is, and just past that, the orphanage.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you, sorry, before you start. So your shots do force the thing back a little from Monty, but you don't. What you're not getting out of this is what you're really hoping, which was either a nice solid hit, or forcing it back into the water. Instead, it crouches like it's about to spring towards Monty. And we'll do so in a minute. But first, we have to find out what's going on with Macklin and Pietro and our guardsman.
Okay, so Pietro leaps to his feet. The rags that he was wearing fall to the ground.
Wonderful.
Revealing his stylish nightwear.
You hear a satisfying "oh" from the homeless
people. He's dressed
people.
in shades of black and dark grey. Well, of course. And as he takes off down the street, pulls out a
couple Fior
he had folded
nice.
tucked in the back of his belt, and puts it on his head.
I knew them boots was too nice.
Puss in boots.
Yeah.
Eat your heart out.
Okay.
So let me know when I get there.
Absolutely. Macklin.
As soon as I hear Sasha's gun go off, I I go through the closest exit, which is either a
Front
window
door.
or the open door. I
Absolutely.
don't really care which one. Monty's in trouble.
Like, go, go, go.
Okay. And I start running. Hopefully, I'll get there before anything untoward happens.
You can hear the guards and Hesperides. Hesperides was upstairs, sort of keeping an eye out, and he's rushing down the stairs, yelling at the guardsmen behind you as you exit the door. As you exit the door, you see Pietro is just behind you because he has exited his area as well. Just down ahead of you, we're talking almost 100. Well, we said it was about 3 blocks. So you can see Monty is on the ground, and there is something that sort of in a half crouch that springs at Monty. And pretty
how
much
far 3 blocks? Sorry.
Well, we're saying 200 yards, 250, somewhere in there. So you guys can make that in what, just under 30 seconds or so. I'm giving you all sorts of kindness.
Okay. So I actually see here. I actually see whatever it is leap,
Yes.
and it looks like it's leaping towards Monty.
Yes.
Okay. I slow my pace. I channel a bit of magic, and I basically put a windshield over the top of Monty. Wherever Monty is, I'm hoping that if he springs up and goes like that, it's like that. So he kind of hits the thing.
That's a good plan.
And it kind of slows the descent.
Got it.
So I'm just trying to give Monty as much cover as possible. It's not going to be a forceful type thing, but it's going to be enough that he's going to have to seriously land on it to penetrate through it.
Okay. So where do you grab the magic from?
Okay, so this is all just wind. So all I'm going to do, actually, no, I'm going to draw a little bit of water from the sweat dripping down my forehead because I ran out that door that fast. And then basically I'm going to just flick it in front of my mouth and then breathe out heavily, so that it combines with the water, and then it's going to have like a slippery kind of thing on it, which makes it a little bit more realistic rather than just a force field of air.
Very good. So let's make that. So takes the stress for using this. So that effect is less about the effect, because the effect is not amazing. It's more about the speed. I'm afraid this is going to cost you 2 to get it off before the leap connects.
Okay.
You're going to have to really push that magic.
Then. Okay.
Go ahead and make your roll. And you can take stress to improve your roll too. Knacks get a lot of stress.
Okay.
We play it this way.
Do that. I'm just gonna hope that I can buy enough time. So it's risky.
Yes.
Is it risky?
Risky. Yes.
Risky.
Yes,
Standard.
Standard. Yes.
No extra dice.
Look at that.
Why is it whenever?
Wow.
That's just this so for those of you watching, thankfully he's got his dice set up there. Look at that. 2 6s. So this is an extreme success.
Oh,
so
wow.
The creature pounces at you, and you see your life flashing before your eyes, Monty, as you're like, I'm just almost don't have any direction to roll properly. And all of a sudden, it's skidding above you. It goes over the top of you and flops awkwardly just past you in the road. And by the way, this will give an extra die to anyone assaulting this creature in this next round. Okay.
Well, with those 2 stress.
Yes.
Very well done. Just in time. So we'll start with Monty, who's closest to this creature. I assume there's some getting up and some, or I don't know. What do you choose to do?
Just thinking, because
Yes.
So Mocklin had an action. I've not had an action yet.
Sure. Do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like to do a flashback.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So flashback has Pietro at his workbench tinkering away, and what he's making is out of metal links and hooks. He's making a net.
Oh.
That for catching a murderer catching net.
Wonderful.
Murderer.
I like it.
So it's made of lightweight metal and it has hooks around the edges. So basically it's designed that you can fling it, it will open out.
Yes.
And then once it wraps around someone, the hooks will
catch in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Do you have a lead off? Well, you are a tad away still, but I think we can just say you get close enough and make that roll.
Okay.
And
there's also a rope attached to it as well.
So you can help set that. I like this very much. What I'd like to do is then what I'll do is give you for that one, that's a 1 stressor. I think that you could have done that well in advance, thinking it through. I don't think that that's a ridiculously difficult one. What I will say, though, is if you want it to be bigger than man size, that'll cost you another stress. Like, for some reason, you thought, maybe I should just make this really big.
Yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so I'll make that a tinker roll, if that's all right.
Very good.
Does Peter also get the extra die from him missing Monty? Or is that going to be the next action?
Yeah.
Or the next round of action?
No,
because I've got to get closer.
Yeah, we'll catch that as, yes, he gets that extra die. Because this creature is now trying to get up. And this is when Pietro is going to make that roll. And Sasha's got a shot probably as well. And Mocklin, you're sprinting as close as you can, and we'll get to Monty's other move. Go ahead, Pietro.
Right, position?
You consider this a risky situation with you're concerned that the effect might be limited just because of the size and power of this creature. But you can always do things. You can trade position for effect. You could make it more of a desperate roll for a standard effect. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Absolutely. So what that will do is, if you fail in some way, shape, or form, you're going to get yanked in towards the creature from where you're holding the rope.
Go for it.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so desperate, standard effect.
Yes, and remember desperates for your experience.
Yeah. So I'll get, I believe, 2 bonus die.
Ooh.
So, well, 1 for the stress and 1 for the.
Very good.
The.
So, are you taking more stress for this roll?
No, well, I already had the stress.
That was just for the flashback itself.
Was it? Okay.
But I'd be glad for you to spend some more.
Just the 1 bonus dice, then I'll go with that.
All right. Very good.
Mocklin's amazing prestidigitation.
That's pretty slick. Yep.
Okie dokie.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
There's the 6 we wanted.
It was the last dice as well, wasn't it? So well done taking that stress.
No, I didn't know. That was the bonus dice you gave me.
There we go.
Oh.
I like it.
Your dice are magic. Basically, even the bonus dice you give out roll sixes.
So at the same time that you're throwing this net, which is going to successfully grapple, I would like to offer that shot to Sasha.
Okay.
And because this creature is prone, you are firing into. You're not close enough. I'm just gonna say risky. It's Monty is close in case something goes really wrong. And a standard effect.
Okay. I'm gonna take stress, push it.
Okay.
I'm going to be using my sharpshooter again. This time I am trying for a more of a kind of a trick shot. I'm basically now finding my sights on this creature and I'm aiming between the eyeballs. I'm going to
try to kill it. I see what you're doing.
I'm trying for a kill shot.
Very good.
We're saying so it's risky. Yes.
Yep, risky. And we said standard effect.
Standard effect. And I've got a bonus dice from pushing it, and I've got a bonus dice from.
Yes, from the magical, from the creature being off its feet.
Magical manipulations. Yeah. By the way, were there any butt pyrotechnics like we had last time? Yes.
Here's a 5.
At least I got a 5.
Very good. So you do hit this creature, and it is a shot in the head. Unfortunately, this is the quite chitinous, armored-y, crab-like piece. It blows a chunk off of it. You can tell it's in great pain, and I will be marking off some things here. And it screeches in a very awful sound. And Monty, I'd like you to have something to do as this net goes right over you and settles onto this creature. And you can see that the hooks are latching sort of into the pieces of the plates of some of its lobster-like form on its back, getting caught in some of the scales underneath its arm and ribs. Yeah. And it's bound its 2 hands right in front of its chest you can see those long rapier-like fingertips poking up out of the top of that.
Monty's going to throw the vial of sweet sleep at the beak sort of area.
Ooh.
Crack it and then just crack the bottle and then the powder and send the powder in the direction of the beak to try and
look at this.
Try and disorientate it, even if it won't knock it out.
Very good.
Don't normally carry sleeping drugs for this sort of whatever this is.
Well, that's why you have.
That's why you got the thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Monty. And that is So what does that come off of your stuff there? That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's one they've always got. That one. Yeah.
I love it. A vial of sweet sleep is right there. You've always got that just in case. Very good. So this is a. It's gone from being a desperate position to more of a risky position since it's wrapped in this net. Yeah. But do you feel it might be limited effect because you just really don't know how this thing breathes?
Yeah. I don't know.
But you know what? Let's do it.
You can do it.
Now, you can trade position for effect. So you're in a risky position. You could make that desperate for more effect from that powder.
By getting close up or something.
Well, or that, or maybe it's going to tear its way out of the net if you fail.
Yeah, let's try that.
All right. And you get experience.
Yep, this is true.
All right, let's see this.
Do we also get the bonus from Mocklin on this?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, okay. So let's do a... let's do it because it'd be a maneuver, I suppose. Let's do maneuver. So it's risky. It was risky and limited, was it?
It was risky and limited, and you changed it to desperate and and standard.
Oh, okay, yes. I'll try that again. Okay, so desperate and standard. Standard. And we get a bonus die. 4 and a 2.
4 and a 2. Okay. So that hits. You can see it sway. I'm not going to tell you the exact effect yet
Mm-hmm.
because we're not quite sure, but you
Yep.
think that you have done something to it with the powder, the fine powder that's all about its head and shoulders.
Yeah.
All right. Mocklin, you feel something you've never felt before, but it's magic. And you see something you've never seen or heard of done, where the shadow junctures the light from the alleyway out to this fairly decently lit street with some torches and lamps and things up. That scene that you didn't really know was a scene you could draw magic from, this creature draws a big waft of darkness and dumps it over itself. Monty, who's right next to it, it splashes across Pietro and obscures everything from view, and almost a liquid inky. And I would like, Monty, this is going to be a suffocating damage level 1, unless you'd like to resist it.
Sorry. Special armor. Resist the complication related to magic cast against me or my coterie when I am present.
Okay, you may do such, and Monty will not have to resist, and will be able to cough and not be.
Yeah, I think the
like
spell
it.
still goes on. It's just the effects that.
Yep, and I was going to make Pietro have to make a roll to be partially tangled in a sticky cloud of shadow, but that will not happen because of your special armor.
Okay.
However, you cannot see, and Monty, you can't see at all. Okay. I will start with Sasha. You see the cloud descend on the two of them. You think, unless the creature moves rapidly, you might be able to pull off another shot, but you really don't know if Monty is going to lunge at it. It's a more of a desperate shot if you make a shot.
I'm still gonna go for it. I'm up on the roof. There's not. Yeah, no, I'm still gonna go for it. Go for another shot.
Very good. All right. So this is a desperate position with, we go now to limited effect, and you can use your stress and other things to overcome some of that.
Yeah, I shall use 2 stress to overcome some of that.
And how do you do that? Do you decide to make that a risky move instead, so less possible damage or danger for a failure, or do you try and increase the effect, going from limited to a more of a standard effect, or do you try and get an extra die just to help with the hit?
We're going to go for an extra die to help with the hit.
Okay.
So it's desperate.
Yes.
And limited.
Yes.
Okay. And I have got 2 extra dice, have I? Or
so you no longer have one from Mocklin.
Okay, so 1 extra dice.
Yes.
Go for it. I hope my dice roll better than they have rolled so far tonight. Did I roll?
Did we get a roll?
Did anybody
Oh
get-
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, skirmish.
No, we didn't get a better roll. My dice are shite tonight. Use my language.
Well, this is a desperate position. Monty, in the swirl, you're gonna get shot.
Yay!
Just to add to everything, yes.
Now, what I will say is you may resist that. It's just
Mhm.
gonna be single damage. It's gonna be what it's gonna be is bloodied forehead with the possibility that it's gonna be harder for you to see and some other problems. But if you want to resist that down to nothing, you can choose to do so.
Nick on
And
the ear.
and when you do that, when you do a resistance like that, you basically you take 6 stress.
6.
However, you then roll
Oh, that's
your
Okay.
resistance. So you can, for this would be body probably, or whatever that is. Let's see. Your resistance is going to
As,
be.
as I said, I would have been wearing some sort of armor, so would that
You
would
can use that as
Yeah.
your resistance too.
Yeah.
So what you
You
can
have to
do
check
for
off
that,
2 for that.
yep, you can check off your armor,
Yep.
and instead that will hit the steel skull cap that you had on, sending it spinning away into the dark, but you are not damaged.
Yep, I'll take that. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. So the only thing out of that, the only complication out of that failure, Christine, is he lost a piece of equipment. That's not a bad thing in the grand scheme of things. Your rolls are just amazing. I love it.
I have the skill. I have the skill with dice.
It's Rob. He's stolen all of Christine's luck.
He's
All the
just-
sixes.
He's a
Rob's
luck sucker.
Sorry.
a luck sucker. Ooh, wow. There's a interesting character type for D&D. We'll need to remember that one. Yeah. Very good. Okay. So
Tastes so nice.
so we have done that particular sort of round. Well, actually, the creature did something. Monty got shot. And that was Christine's. So Pietro, Moklin, and Monty can each do something right now with this amorphous thing of shadow that is. It looks like it may be moving towards the water slightly. The whole thing drifting.
So Pietro's got hold of the rope that's attached.
Yes, you do. And oh, by the way, the guards show up now and are there saying, "What's happening?" Okay.
So Pietro's basically going to yank on the rope, make sure that the net is
Nice set.
Now are we alongside this demolished tenement?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a lamp post nearby? Or
So there, what we'll do is tell me what you're trying to do, and then we'll make a luck roll. So you're trying to find something to loop that over.
basically, yes. So the idea is that if there's a lamp post, he's going to Pietro's going to run the rope over the top and basically use his body weight
Gotcha.
to hold this thing back.
So let's make a luck roll to see if there's something that close.
Okay.
And what we'll do for that is I'll treat it. This really isn't something that you're doing or anything. This is just what's out there in the world. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. There's something there that's close, like a signpost or a piece, a girder that's poking up. And there's not really gas lamps. There are, so there's not really a lantern post type thing that you would see there.
The other thing would be in the tenement. It would be a sticking out piece of wood or
Oh, absolutely, a rock,
or
big piece of
something like
stone.
that.
Absolutely. You could probably leap over to something close to that. So what I'll do with that, since we do have that big pile of stuff there, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a success, Pete.
I'm getting a message saying I've
Oh,
died.
sorry.
Am I in your list?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you probably just want to refresh that. Sorry,
No problem.
Is that it?
Yes. No.
No.
No. Cancel that.
You didn't quite look at that.
Yeah. No. Just.
Just do what? I'm not in your list, am I?
Yeah, for some reason. Oh no, you've lost connection to the internet for some reason.
Oh no.
Hang on.
Oh,
Sasha's
I've got
gone.
Wi-Fi
Yep, she did.
issue.
She dropped off.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rolling so crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was all
That's
technical.
it. It's all technical. Well, whilst Pete's doing that,
Yes.
I've got a quick question.
Yes.
Have I seen anything like this creature before?
Like,
I mean, do I know a familiar name for it?
Ooh. Let me
Lunch.
think here.
Goose
How
crab.
about
Apart from crabstick.
It's very nice with a little bit of lemon and some vinegar. Salt,
you
pepper.
know,
Tasty. Maybe a
I'm
little
thinking
bit
I'd
of
not.
like to make it. I'd
Ooh.
like to make it a roll, Rob, because
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form, whether it's just luck that you remember it, or whether it's something, there's a possibility that in the legends of your people from those isles that sank beneath the sea, there may be something. Okay, you
In
got it.
tradition fashion, yes, I do.
Perfect. So you do, and we'll say that 1, 2, 3. That's what it was, and so you can come up with a name for this type of creature. It's a nightmare story told to the kids. Creatures coming out of the lagoons, stealing children.
Right, I'll think of that whilst Pete's just finishing off, because
Very good.
I didn't want to overstep Pietro's go.
Yes,
But whilst there was a break, I wanted to ask if you know
absolutely.
what I mean. So
That was
I'm
good.
going to think long and hard.
Very good. All right. Okay. The activity is intense with Pietro and Sasha's overcoming of the technical issues of the day.
So, sorry, shall I just quickly roll my thing so you can
Yeah,
do?
go ahead, and you can jump back to that. So just single die. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a success of finding something easy to loop that over.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You've died as well?
Well, no, because our internet connection is clearly fine because we're still talking.
Yeah,
to
but are
people.
we having trouble with?
But this is not rolling the dice.
Is roll 20 causing you problems?
Yeah,
roll 20. Well, no, that has a. Yes, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, but not connected to the internet. Bad favourite. On this one, I'm obviously connected to the internet, but where am I? No, I'm not.
See?
Though thankfully we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Tell you what, why don't we let Rob roll for you since he's got such amazing luck while you guys deal with your resets or whatever you got to do with roll 20 and everything else.
No, it's come up too. Pietro's finally made
came
it
through.
so he's got one. Yeah.
So you find a large block of stone that is tumbled down and it's at the edge of that pile of stuff. You leap over behind it, or you can, and lean your body weight, and you can feel it. You've got something pretty darn heavy that's yanking on that cord, struggling on the other side.
Yeah.
You got a bad feeling that with enough leverage, this thing might be able to overcome your.
Yeah. So I'm going to shout to the guards behind. 2 of you help me. 2 of you grab the thing in the net.
Okay. 2 of them rush over and jump on the rope with you. 2 of them are sort of standing at the edge of that waving black thing field, like um, Hesperides strides bravely into the darkness. Okay.
I just mutter twat. He's not part of my coterie. He doesn't know though. Anyway, sorry. Go on. Carry on.
Okay. So Sasha shot. You've done. Okay, I'm trying to go around, make sure we've covered everybody this round.
Pietro's dropped from Roll20, by the way.
Yeah, no,
That's
I've got
cool.
the same message. Your connection to the server's been interrupted.
Copy.
It's
So you guys are popping back on and dealing with that now. Christine, I can still hear you back. You're sharing the same Skype call as Pete.
Yeah,
So-
so the Skype call's going fine. It's all Roll20. Neither of us seems to be able to.
John had an issue last night, didn't he, with Roll20?
Yeah, John did too.
weirdly, yeah, so I mean, I don't seem to have an internet connection on my laptop or Christine's laptop, but I do on my phone and on the iPad.
Ah, heavens.
Very weird.
Yeah. So if you want us to
So
roll
as
anything,
you're doing that,
somebody's
since
going
you
to have to roll it
I would
for us.
suggest you continue on.
got it.
Yeah.
So we'll do that, and we'll make rolls as we need.
Yeah.
Who are we missing? Anyone before this creature has a go?
Me.
All right, Mocklin.
And Monty, I think.
Yes,
You had a go,
that
Monty.
is true. That is true. Because Monty just got sort of dinged, and then can do something.
Okay, so if Monty goes first, I'll go last.
Your call. Go for it, guys.
Oh, go on,
Monty?
Monty.
Yep. Well, I'll try and use some throwing knives and try and.
So you can't see a thing.
I can't see it.
You're basically going to be throwing into
Blind.
a soupy, and you can almost feel the weight of it.
Right.
Right? It's like you're in a thicker piece of air.
In that case, I will try and roll.
You still know roughly where it is, but you
Yeah.
can, so if you wanted to do that, we can just make it a desperate limited effect roll, and you can try and modify that and get a hit with your knives. That's fine.
No, I think I'll try and get out of the inky darkness.
Okay, so you're gonna back out of that.
Yeah, I'll try and move carefully to try and so it's in case if it's trying to see if it can lose track of me. I'll try and slink out towards the side somewhere.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So what I will say is, let's make a. No, actually, we're not going to make a roll for that because I think you can do that. It's you just sort of choose a direction and move multiple steps.
Mm-hmm.
As this sort of clings a little bit to you, you are out of this.
Very good.
Okay. Very good. Mocklin.
Okay, so using the old tongue, I shall. It'll see me, the shadow crab. Stop and answer my questions.
Ooh,
And I'm going to use command.
very cool.
Nice.
Now, I get a +1 effect when communicating with anything non-human.
Very good.
So risky?
Yeah, it's risky just because it's not controlled. And
Standard?
I'd say it's standard effect. You're gonna see if you open up this line of communication.
And I'm just going to attempt first. I got a 5.
Okay. Okay. So you guys hear a creaking sound coming, a chittery creak sound coming out of this darkness. You also see the darkness pool is growing in size slightly. And you can see that the strain that Pietro and the guards are taking on that rope is getting intense. Mocklin, excuse me, you hear, Who speaks in the old speech?
So I return the favour and I introduce myself. I know he can see me, so I bow deeply and I go, "My name is Prince Mocklin Topa, a herald from, I forgot where I come from the depths of the sunken citadels within Grenadine. Royal bloodline to those of fish and men."
Do you stand with the one who smells of my masters?
Who is your masters? Who smells of your masters? Drop the darkness so I can see where you point.
My masters are close. They force me.
Then
but
let
I will
me help
find
you.
them. You people do not help.
I vow that I will. Everyone here will assist me, even the one that smells like your masters, but I need to know who does this terrible thing to you. Who enslaved you?
So, I'd like another roll or command or sway or something that you're trying to convince this creature that even after being shot and assaulted and wrapped in a net, that you're not after it. That somehow you're trying to help it. So
Yeah, okay.
this
So
is.
I'm going to talk as if I'm trying to be commanding, but I'm going to lean more on the guile.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Actually, no. I am going to command because I am a bloody prince. So I am going to command. I'm not going to sway, and I'm going to take 2 stress.
okay. So to tell you up front, it's risky just because you don't know what you're not in a safe position, but it's got limited effect. This creature's non-trusting, blah blah blah. It doesn't, even though it's in a bad position, it doesn't see it as desperate yet.
Okay, that's fine.
So those 2 stress you take, is it for another die, or you want to
It's
change
for
that
another
to?
die.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for another die. I've got 5.
Okay. So to a limited effect, it's listening to you. But with that 5, what I'm going to do here is, what's going to be the downside of this? The rope snaps. Pietro or Pete, Christine, did you hear that?
Yeah, it's a metal rope.
Oh, it's metal. Okay.
Yeah.
So
made of metal.
Then what we'll do is, let's see what else we can do with that. So you and the 2 dudes are jerked up over the rock and are being drugged, all 3 of you, towards the blackness.
Okay.
But the rope doesn't break.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have it sort of bound.
Yep.
Okay. What I'd like to do here is do another quick round of actions and activities for those who can or would like to, and then we can do some more dialogue as possible, Mocklin.
Okay. Did he actually answer though?
So your question was again?
Tell me who's. Tell me who has, what was it? Tell me who
Enslaved you.
has enslaved you. That was it.
This collar burns.
Did you say collar?
Then let's take it off you. And then that's it.
Okay.
Okay. And I shout out, because nobody else can understand chitinous crab talk. I know what it is, and it's in being enslaved. It's got a collar around it. I don't know how we're going to find it in that blackness, and that's a magics that I've never seen. And that's my dialogue done for the night.
All right, Sasha, on the roof. You see this mass. You saw the shot. You see Monty has come out of the blackness. You can see Pietro and the two guards get pulled over. You see, all of a sudden, I mean, you guys are fighting a jerking sack of metal and that is moving around Pietro, but Hesperides gets thumped by just the motion of his body and tumbles out of the darkness as well. There's no one in that darkness besides the creature. The size of the darkness, you're thinking, would probably be 3 or 4 times the size of the creature itself, making a shot incredibly difficult. Now, you might take a guess and say that it's centered on the creature and take a shot, but that's up to you of what you're thinking at this point.
But I have heard
Yes, you have.
Mocklin shout out that it's enslaved and it's acting against its will.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah? Have
Okay.
I?
Yes, you have. So your call.
In which case I will hold my shot unless it tries to run off for an escape. I'll hold my shot on my attack.
Very good. Okay. Pietro, the jerking and everything else starts to come to a stop.
Okay, I will.
Keep leaning against that rope with the
I'll
three
stay
guys.
where I am,
Very good.
but I won't jerk the rope.
Okay.
So I'm basically
just keeping the tension
to the guards who are on the rope with me. I say, look, keep it steady. Don't jerk the rope. Yeah.
Hesperides and the other two guards sort of back towards where Monty's standing. Monty, any action?
Yes, I'll say to Mocklin, I have lockpick equipment. I can try and try and take the collar.
You see Hesperides sort of shake his head when you say you've got lockpicks.
He's locksmith.
I have an apprentice with a locksmith in town. I have the equipment to
Don't
deal
have
with
to
this.
explain yourself to me, my lord.
But I don't know whether. So I'm trying to say I try and say that to the crab creature and to Mocklin, because I don't know if the crab creature
so it's loud enough.
So I don't know if it can understand me. So I'm hoping Mocklin can translate if not. But I'll kind of walk slowly towards the darkness with the lockpick, with some equipment held out.
Wonderful. Walking towards it. Love it. Mocklin, I will give you one more sway command action here before Monty gets into the darkness.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to use sway on this one. I can't command it not to. So I'm going to try and charm it. Okay.
Very good.
And I'm going to say, Elisby, the shadow crab. The man who smells tainted is going to try and get the collar off. Don't attack him, please.
Let's make that roll.
And I can't put anything into it.
It is we're going to call this a desperate roll. And we're going to call it, but we're going to say this might, at this point, have a standard effect. We're going to be kind on this.
I kind of don't actually want to roll it because I've got a funny feeling my luck's run out. Oh, look. Aha. Oh. Lucky charm. What does that do?
Yes, you can use that.
I'm going to use my lucky charm.
Okay.
And what does that do? Supernatural threats.
We've established that it'll give you a die.
Okay, so I'm going
change
to
the narrative.
Okay, so I'm going to not add the extra die in, but you can, if it's sort of like successful or something, maybe you can change the narrative, or do you want me to add an extra die from the lucky charm?
It's up to you.
Because I mean, I can't get even Google.
Yeah, but I can almost.
I can't. I'm on my phone.
Okay, I'm going to ask for it to be changed to narrative.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I'm rolling.
Strange.
I've got 5.
Okay.
It's not
Very... okay.
Extreme, but...
So it's not a full success, and I am keeping track of that. But what does happen is the shadow retreats back to where it was drawn. What I would say is, if you had rolled really well at this point, you might have learned some new method of drawing magic. As this is, you might start a long-term clock in your spare time and downtime to research a new seam in reality that you might draw magic from, which is between darkness and shadow.
I'm going to be. I actually wrote down Owen, my teacher. So I want to find out what more about this. So yes, I had actually thought that.
Very good. Okay, so
okay.
You see this creature, Pietro, Sasha, Monty, as you're standing surprisingly close to this thing. It is holding the net sort of in a clenched hand, and it's not around its body.
Interesting. Okay.
It drops it.
Yeah.
You can now see there is a red painted lacquered metal band around where is sort of a neck. It was sort of where the thorax joins up with this thing. And there is a symbol upon it of some sort. A glyph. It doesn't look like a lock.
Okay.
Looks like you're going to have to deal with that one.
The guards, actually, Pietro, you sense in the young guardsmen that they're about to break and run. If you would like to provide your presence in some way, shape, or form to steady that team, it might actually be really good for the overall everything with the guards.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to make a sway roll. And steady, lads. I know you've never seen anything like this before, but we've got you covered here.
Nice.
Okay. How many d6 is it?
So that's going to be for
sway
you.
Roll will be three dots.
3 dots. Wonderful. And it's what it's going to be is it's risky. They might run and maybe even hurt themselves, but it's a standard effect. You can calm them right the heck down. And Hesperides is trying as well.
I've got no. I don't know what's wrong with the internet connection. I want to restart my my router, but
Pete,
got it.
there's likely that I'd lose the video. So I feel that
Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk it through.
Pete, I've just rolled 3d6
We're
for
all
you.
nominating that Rob rolls for us. Any rolls we have to make.
You don't want.
Rob
Well, I was just going to say I have just rolled 3d6 for you if you wanted me to, but it was a 2, 2, and a 4.
Well, a 4 is a success.
A 4 is a success, and they do not run off. There are some step backs and some indrawn breaths, and there's a clock being ticked that you're not seeing, but they definitely back the heck up, but they stay in place. And Hesperides gives you a slight nod. You know you've earned a little bit in his eyes. Sasha, you can see the creature. You've got a clean shot. It's standing still. It's got that big lock thing around its quasi neck area. You can see Monty is sort of standing nearer it, though his lock picks are now no longer. I mean, he's like,
Could shoot the collar off of it.
Oh, there's a thought.
That'd be an interesting trick shot, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But then would that freak the creature into thinking it's being attacked?
It might do, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really want to do that.
Hey, you never know. I mean, that'd all be based on the roll, right?
I'm going to defer to our expert on magical matters in this circumstance. So
yeah.
Yeah, Monty's already said that his lockpicks don't work.
Well, that is true. I mean, when it comes to magic, we do tend to turn to the rogue.
As you should.
Definitely, always.
Jeez.
Come on, Rob, step up.
Okay. I think I'm going to have to ask. Have I seen the sigil before?
You.
Do you want me to roll a d6?
What I'll say is, if you're willing to do a flashback, you may remember it from some of your library readings. That's going to cost you 1 stress. Fair enough. You are making note of it so you can go look in the library. Stress. It's such a magic thing. It gives us so much capabilities to do amazing things.
I'll take the stress.
Ooh.
Okay.
What is this?
How much do I remember?
So.
Don't look. No, don't look.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So you think you have seen this symbol as meaning something to do with 7 veils? Mask of the 7 veils? It's like a group, a cult. What is this?
Okay, and how is the how is it applied?
Stamped into the metal.
So how do I break it?
Good question. You can see the bindings all through that metal. The lines, you can almost faintly see a line running away from it into the city. Really faint.
Dispel magic.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
Yeah. Do I think that I could use magic to destroy the link?
You've heard of such.
Cost you some stress.
Okay. So what magics do I need to use?
That's going to have to be up to you and your creativity. What do you think? You're unsure of what is the binding is made of. So I'm very interested. It's a shimmery. It's as thin as a thread, and places it's just gray that blends with the night air, and then it'll glint in your magic view.
How thick is this collar?
It is. You would say it's about. So around it, you can't. Your diameter view is not great, but the collar's thickness, as you'd say, is about 2 inches. Yeah, about 2 inches. But you think that the thickness in is probably at least the same.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very substantial bit of metal.
Yes, it's not like some thin decorative piece.
Yeah, it's like anchor chain more than anything.
Yeah. Lachlan's thinking hard. What I'm going to do.
Let me get this straight. If I go over my stress,
you're out of the game for this period.
For the period, right? Okay. In that case,
and you take a what is it called in this game?
Shame, is it?
Shame, something like that, which you will be stuck with, and
scandal
that is moving you towards being knocked out of the game entirely.
It's worth the risk. Right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a vulgar display of power.
Okay.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for a lantern that's lit. I'm going to get a glass of some sort. I would more likely have something in my arcane implements, like a magnifying glass. I'm going to, because it's middle of the night, I'm going to tell you that the moon is out.
No, the moon has set, we established. Sasha, just so you know, you're seeing twitches at curtains and things. Go ahead. As people are peeking out, see what the heck's happening out here.
So the moon's not out?
No, sir. The moon rose, the moon set. We established, sorry.
So is the sun out?
Now? No.
Okay, that's a pain in the ass because I was going to use the light from. Okay, in that case, I am just going to take the fire.
Okay.
From the lantern. I'm basically going to superheat.
So remember, you're grabbing from the edges and seams between elements. So you're grabbing between fire and air.
Fire and air.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell. Actually, I'm going to ask him first if he would mind me trying to break the collar with magics. I'm going to tell him how it's going to be and how much pain he will have.
Break free.
In that case, vulgar display of power, I'm going to generate as much heat and I'm going to basically turn that collar so it's white hot.
Brilliant.
And then I'm going to basically snap it with the force of air.
Okay. And you're going to, so you're making this roll, and I'm going to call this this is a 2 stress magic use.
Okay. Can I add another 2 stress into it?
Do you have the stress to give?
Only if I go over.
Yes, you may.
Then that's okay then.
Don't
So,
forget, we've got a lady's favours you could use.
You do have a lady's favor.
oh yes, ladies' favour as well. So, what is it? Is it risky?
So we're going to say this is desperate because you're not sure what it's going to do to the creature when you white hot this.
Yeah.
And the closest thing to him, if he's under extreme pain and is lashing out, is Monty. And we're going to say that the effect, though, is going to be standard. You may be able to do this.
So I'm going to take the lady's favour. Not the lady's favour, the coterie thing.
Okay.
Okay. So that gives me an extra dice. So that's 2 bonus dice.
So you took the one to go over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I got a 4. And what happens?
So here's what we're going to do with that 4. It breaks.
And then I collapse and I'm unconscious.
What you do see out of the corner of your eye is that you think maybe that line to the collar is still attached, even though it's broken and falling. But that's the last thing you see.
Oh, in that case, just before,
yes,
just before, once I see it snap, I just shout, "The collar!" And then basically I just collapse and blood starts to dribble out of my ears.
So what we'll do with this is I will tell the rest of you what happens because he only rolled a 4. The creature's head explodes out. It turns bright red like a steamed lobster and then goes boom. And the shards of shell rush at Monty and will cause him 2 points of slashing damage to the face.
Oh, God.
Now, he can resist that, or he can...
I'm not eating seafood again. Right, so how do I resist?
So it goes out in all directions. So what happens is,
Yeah.
boom, he goes, boom, the shards come. So you take, 6 stress, and then you make your roll.
I can't
which
take
is,
6 stress.
Well, yeah, but you're not actually taking 6 stress
Okay.
because you're going to be rolling not to take 6 stress. So what you're going to wind up doing is we're going to say that this is, come over here. Actually, where are your...
I don't think my special armor counts in this case.
No, I don't know. What is it?
It's more to do with detection and security against the character. I'm sure the security part of it probably.
So this is body.
Yeah.
So you get to roll 2 dice,
Mm-hmm.
and you can take the highest die and subtract that from the 6 stress.
Okay.
So you might not take any stress at all.
Okay, cool.
Or you might take
a lot.
big chunk in a hurry,
Yeah.
and it might be bad.
So body, I've got 3 dice.
And by doing this, you will lower your damage from 2 down to 1, which is going to be some minor lacerations.
Yeah.
And that'll heal in a period.
So I don't get any bonus dice, so I just roll them.
Oh, I didn't see it. What is it? Oh,
2 and
body
2.
2 and 2. So you take 4 stress.
That's about puts me 1 over.
You're 1 over. Boom.
Yeah.
You
I'm
go down as well.
Your head explodes.
Yep.
Oh. Wow. Okay. The guards are helping as they clean up the mess. You can see that the people of the area...
Monty.
There's going to be an interesting interplay here because they are all extremely against any use of magic in their area because they're afraid it's going to wake up the creature living under the Necropolitan Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And they all just saw a vulgar display of power within the confines of the twist. However, the creature that was murdering them just got killed, so there may be some moderating effects there. And we will come back to that, of course, when we do our downtime the next time we get to play. This, by the way, ends the summer social season in Illyrian. And we will be doing a off-camera bit in which we will decide how the houses do, who goes up and down. You guys may actually wind up with more areas that you're in charge of. We'll see how this plays out. Cool? Everyone cool during the cleanup and all the rest? What I'd like to do is I'll stop the stream here and I'll just chat with you guys for just a minute and then we'll call it good. So everybody, that was a great time and we'll get back to you later.